Welcome everyone to NXTV. This is episode 15A. We're going to get into NXT, NXT UK, and 205 Live just like we do every week. This is the go-home episode of NXT going into TakeOver Vengeance Day. The first match that we had was MSK, which is Wes Lee and Ash Carter. Actually went over Legado del Fantasma here, Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. This is the semifinal match. This sets it up for MSK to actually go into the finals that'll take place this Sunday. Great match, high octane. Expected nothing less with these guys. Some really wicked spots. MSK has just been so exciting. It's been an adrenaline shot into this tag team division. The cruiserweight style that they had going up against Legado was just fantastic. The spot where Joaquin and Raul were on the outside and Wes Lee pushed Nash Carter off of the apron into that splash right there was wicked. Looked like a couple of spots where Joaquin might have actually injured himself, but we did see him later on in the show. Maybe he just wasn't injured that bad, but maybe it was just a really good sell. We don't know. But again, MSK did go over here, setting them up to go into the Dusty Classic Finals this upcoming Sunday. The next match that we had was Xia Li making her return back to the ring again, going over Cora Jade here. I can see why they are doing this. Why are they having Xia come in and just completely squash opponents? It's allowing her to really tell the story that she is a different Xia Li. She is not the happy-go-lucky, almost animated Xia Li that we've gotten to know before. This is a darker side of her. This is her just going in and completing and being a complete and total, dominating force to be reckoned with. I see her actually having a women's title shot in the near future. Definitely before the end of the year, especially with this mysterious woman sitting up there, Boa being in her corner. Xia definitely, really showed a dark side, especially with Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro coming out and really trying to plead with her that this isn't you, this isn't the Xia that we know, this isn't the Xia that we love, and then going and having Caden go turn around, go up to the ramp, and really get in that evil woman's face, saying, what did you do to her? Because they know it's not Xia. What did she do to her? She's almost brainwashed, right? And then Xia goes and apologizes for them, and then just completely tears both of them up. Casey and Caden got a beat down. So I see this story picking up where, maybe we'll have a couple of matches with Xia and just Casey, Xia and just Caden, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a handicap match where Xia just kicked both of them at the same time. So I'm into this. I'm into this story, and I feel like Xia is going to be a superstar on the other side of this, which is it's exciting to me. Been a fan of hers for a very long time, so seeing her back on TV, seeing her featured more when she really just, she had that one feud with Dakota, and that was really the last legitimate thing that we saw her do before this. So really cool to see. The next match was a women's semifinal Dusty Classic match featuring Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon defeating The Way and Candice LeRae and Indie Wrestling. Really feel like this was the only option here. We needed to get a final kibosh on the Shotzi and Candice feud. It started over with this match. Shotzi getting the win really establishes, okay, she is done with Candice LeRae. It's time to focus on what's next, and that's making history. Ember Moon being able to move into this match on Sunday against Dakota and Raquel allows Ember to really get a kibosh on the Dakota feud that she's got. So it really makes sense that this happened. So we're moving on with Shotzi and Ember versus Dakota and Raquel. After a really hard-fought battle with Candice and Indy really taking this sacrifice move at the end, but ultimately it costed them the match. Candice and Indy really went deep in the tournament. They went deeper than Johnny and Austin did in theirs. So it really, it's good for everybody all around. Speaking of Johnny Gargano, this whole injury deal, he broke his arm so he can't walk. The being in the wheelchair, and we know how he feels about wheels thing, that was gold. That was pure entertainment. That was the E in WWE. Okay? And we need that. We can't just be all about wrestling. But seeing Johnny in a wheelchair, not being able to walk, seeing Austin have to pick him up off the turnbuckle to put him in the chair, and then Regal just call him out on his BS. I mean, it was good. It was good. It was good. I mean, it was good. And then we have Kushida and Austin Theory in a match, and it's exactly what we expected it to be. Actually, it was a really, really good match, but Kushida coming off with the victory there, it only made sense. There should have not been any doubt about who was going to win that match. But Austin Theory is really coming into his own. He's so young. He's so young, and he needs this. He got it from Seth on the main roster. He's getting it from Johnny here. He's under the learning tree, and he's constantly improving and getting better. So Kushida going over Austin Theory there. The next thing that we see is Cameron Grimes roll up in this, mint white Lamborghini with what? This is Cameron Grimes, right? To the moon, baby. Greasy Cameron Grimes rolls up in a Lamborghini. Okay. Got my attention. He walks into the ring and he is just tossing out money left and right. I think I saw on Twitter that he said something about how he left $14,000 and something in the ring, and he ain't worried about it. So he gets on the mic and he's talking about how he came into, GameStop on his time off because he just discovered video games. And boy, is he in the right place at the right time. If we all know, pop culture like we should, we understand what happened with GameStop. Their stocks going through the roof. You could buy it cheap and sell it, high. And so that's what Cameron did. And then he got into Dogecoin because he doesn't like cats. I mean, I think he's talking about Dogecoin, but cool. And he is rich now. He is a hillbillionaire, as Vic Joseph put it. I think Vic Joseph said it. One of them, way better than Vic Joseph said that. Hillbillionaire. I love that. I'm from Texas. We've seen the Beverly Hillbillies. We know that is just it's a great name. Hillbillionaire. Awesome. So I'm excited to see what happens here. He's telling Regal that he can't tell him nothing because, he's got all the power now with all the money. Is this a Ted DiBiase 2.0? Is he going to start buying his way out of matches? Is he going to start buying titles? I mean, is he going to have, Andre the Giant in his corner? I mean, what's going to happen here? I don't know, but man, I've always been a fan of Cameron Grimes. If you're following my Facebook pages, you know that I put 2 posts up in a row about Cameron Grimes. I love that guy. So let's see how that goes. The ending of NXT was the second semifinal match of the Dusty Classic for the men's. It was GYV, James Drake, and Zach Gibson going over Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. Good move. Good move. Because Thatcher and Ciampa, they weren't even supposed to be here. They weren't even supposed to be there today. So going on and getting this deep into the tournament and having them face MSK was not the right move. It wasn't. It's good to see Thatcher and Ciampa on the same page. It was good to see, Ciampa saying class dismissed and Thatcher just sitting there smiling with his toothless grin. And to see where they go from here is great. But GYV needed the win here. They made it to the semifinals last year. It's important that they do it again. And it's important that they go up against the guys like MSK. So, again, it was a well-fought match. Ciampa almost had it with the Willow's Bell, but it was scouted and sprawled, and the ending was just, I hate to do this twice, but it was good. It was good. Okay, going into NXT UK, guys, Meiko Satomura. She's here. I thought it was a dream. I thought there is no way that the best women's wrestler on the planet, much less the best women's wrestler in the universe, she is here. She goes over Isla Dawn. Good first opponent, but they don't even give you no tease at all. Kaylee Ray is there watching the match, and Meiko's like, I'm coming for you. No warm-up, no couple of weeks of squash matches, no showing who she is. She ain't got time for that. She's going straight for Kaylee Ray, and oh my God, give me that match. Give it to me next week. I'm ready. Meiko Satomura just going. And cool. Supernova Sessions is next. I love this, guys. I love it so much. Noam Dar he can just do this for the rest of his career. I'm okay with it. I love him in the ring, but this is where he's really shining. He has Shaw Samuels on. Shaw Samuels says, I am the epitome of British wrestling. I am the heritage of British wrestling. And he challenges A-Kid for the Heritage Cup. Cool. Cool. We saw, A-Kid going up against Walter. And Walter's a big guy. And he almost beat him. I really feel like Shaw nobody's got the build like Walter, but Shaw is close to Walter's build. This is going to be a great match. So let's have that. And I think that may happen next week or 2 weeks from now. But it's going to happen. Piper Niven comes out and defeats Amel. Joseph Connors comes out and is really taunting her in the match. Are we getting ready to see Piper and Jenny? That's cool because Jenny really put on a good match against Kaylee Ray. Piper couldn't go over Kaylee. Jenny couldn't go over Kaylee. It almost just makes sense. The final match of UK was a really great match. To borrow a phrase, it was really just a slobber knocker. It really was. Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews versus Eddie Dennis and Primate. That's a new team. They've been together for a while, but they've never wrestled together. We haven't seen Eddie Dennis wrestle in 9-10 months, or however long it's been. I guess it's going on 11 months. So seeing Eddie Dennis back fighting in a street fight was pretty cool. With the Boar being injured, he steps in and teams with Primate and goes up against one of the most brutal matches I've seen in NXT UK since probably Dave Mastiff in that street fight or no disqualification match where they ended up taking apart the ring and beating each other with it. But it was legit brutal. Chair shots, kendo shots, Mark Andrews diving off, a barricade ECW Lucha Underground style. Pretty neat. It was a great match. Seeing Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews pick up the win, though, to really put, again, to say a kibosh on a feud. It makes sense. Let's move forward and let's see if we can't get more tag team matches for more than just bragging rights in the future. 205 Live, really short show this week. Mansoor and Ashanti, the Adonis, defeated Bali Rise and Chase Parker and Samir Singh. Didn't see that. I saw it coming. I'm a big fan of Bali Rise. It makes sense that they're just trying to shake things up because neither one of them can put together more than one win. So just trying to join forces and see if they can win, and they're still losing. I hope that this turns into where Everrise and Bollywood Boys are just end up going at each other. The main event, second match of the night, same thing. Jake Atlas goes over Tony Nese. Very needed win for Jake Atlas. it makes a lot of sense that August Gray came out to help him because Daivari was helping Nice. I really see this feud going for another couple of weeks, but I don't see it going much longer than that. We've had enough of it already, but there's still some things to do where Jake Atlas and August Gray really need to team up and really put a dominating win over Daivari and Nice to really go ahead and finish this feud off. That's not all we have for today. We've gone over NXT, NXT UK, and 205 Live. But I did ask if you have questions for me to post them on our videos. And there were a few of you that did them. So I'm going to go ahead and take the time to read them off. I'm pulling up my phone here so that I can absolutely make sure that I've got the questions 100% correct. We had a question from Kevin that said, how long have I been a super fan? I kind of addressed this in a couple of videos ago, but this was before we really started the Facebook page, before we really got this off the ground like it is, and it's not 100% like, viral or anything, but we'll go ahead and address the question. I've been a fan of wrestling since I was probably 2 or 3 years old. We were living in the Dallas area at the time, and my dad, being a huge fan of the Von Erichs, took us out to, me and him, out to the Sportatorium to go and see a WCCW show, World Class Championship Wrestling, if you don't know. I was kind of hooked at that point, even though I was only 2 or 3 years old, but I've been watching wrestling ever since. Grew up with it. Absolutely loved WCCW. I loved WCW, ECW, and WWF at the time. I did spend more of my time watching WCW. I was a huge NWO fan, if you haven't seen the NWO shirts that I wear in these shows. Big fan of Sting, big fan of Edge. So yeah, I've been a fan of wrestling for a very long time. A super fan. Probably since the 90s, where I would watch it religiously. I wouldn't miss an episode. If I did, I was upset. The next question we have comes from Emma Copley. Emma says, what's your favorite women's NXT moment of 2020? I'm going to have to say that probably it was In Your House. I was super into that match. Rhea versus Charlotte versus Io. Io coming out with that title was a shocker. I thought for sure that Rhea was going to take that title back off of Charlotte. And being an insider fan like I am, I knew Charlotte was about ready to take her leave to take care of some issues that she was having. But I really felt like Rhea was going to carry it a second time. But Io carrying it at that point and still having it today. I mean, I think that was a really pivotal moment in Io Shirai's career, well-deserved. And I feel like, that's got to be my favorite women's moment of 2020. There's others, but I have a special place in my heart for women's wrestling. It's actually, I gotta say it's my favorite because it's actually bringing some goosebumps to me just thinking about it. That's gotta be it. Yeah, it's gotta be Io in that dive off of the house set, the dive into the ring where she ends up taking the victory. The last question that we have, it's from Ben Johnson. He says, what in-ring talent, WWE or otherwise, would you like to see on NXT? That's a great question, Ben. There's so much out there. I can't give you one answer. I can't. I've got to go with Joe Hendry. He's one of them. I believe in Joe Hendry, and I believe that he would be amazing in WWE, especially in WWE NXT UK. I gotta feel like he would be a top star immediately, but he'd be a star anywhere. Another one's got to be Tama Tonga, just for the sheer controversy of it all. I mean, that dude has zero filter, and I feel like he's so great on the mic that, his charisma oozes, and he's got the in-ring skill to back everything that he says up. one last talent, because I feel like I would be disrespecting the women to choose just 2 men and not give a woman. Tessa Blanchard. Just because Tessa Blanchard is that good. She's controversial and a lot of people don't like her as far as workers go, but that woman can go in the ring, and I really don't care what she says backstage, as long as she can put it aside and get in the ring and do what we know she's capable of doing. She would be a great addition. Plus, I mean, she's a former world heavyweight champion. I mean, it's Impact, but still, you know, any woman that can get in the ring with, you know, Sami Callihan and you know, all the talent that she went in the ring with and put on a 5-star match with any man, deserves to be recognized. And I feel like she belongs in the WWE somewhere. NXT would benefit greatly from it. So that's all we have. Keep these questions coming in. I absolutely love it. I'm also thinking about maybe going live on Facebook or Instagram, and maybe just doing a Q&A session if we can schedule it, or just talking about things that happen instead of waiting for these shows to come out. I put a post on Facebook about it. Let me know what you think about it. Possibly just going live randomly and just talking wrestling with you. That's one of the things I absolutely love to do, and I don't have a whole lot of friends I can do that with. So I would like to extend that to actual fans. I don't care where you're from or whatever. I love to talk wrestling. So let me know what you think about that. We will see you tomorrow. We are going to do a special NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day episode. So we will see you right back here tomorrow. And remember, we are NXT.